Skol Nation, stop right now. US Bank Stadium just erupted with breaking news, and the definitive map for the entire postseason hunt is finally locked in on the table. 5 out of 7 is the staggering home ratio that is driving this fan base absolutely wild today, alongside a shocking 15-touchdown forecast for our franchise centerpiece and an immediate roster execution that sent an elite young pass rusher straight packing into the waiver wire. Insiders leaked the scheduling sheets early this morning, and here is your very first massive payoff. That lopsided stretch means Minnesota holds a brutal geographical hammer over the division when December freeze arrives. If you want to see the Green Bay Packers utterly crushed and buried underneath the snow this season, smash that like and subscribe button right now. We kick off this breakdown with the home field masterclass that has the front office celebrating. The ultimate stretch of a championship run requires total comfort, and the NFL front office just handed Minnesota an absolute goldmine of a gift. Will the coaching staff capitalize on a brutal home stretch, or will the early pressure break this squad before winter even hits? The answer lies inside the official calendar release that features a jaw-dropping 5 out of 7 final games directly inside US Bank Stadium. This is a massive competitive advantage for a roster trying to fight its way back into the postseason tournament. Jonathan Harrison from Sports Illustrated highlighted this exact late-season gift, pointing out that 2 distinct back-to-back home stretches will dominate the final winter push. The sequence is beautifully split right down the middle by a brutal Week 14 road trip out to Foxborough on Thursday Night Football, meaning the squad gets a mini bye week right after. Think about how massive that 10-day rest window is right before launching into the brutal divisional finish against the toughest opponents. Minnesota will host the Falcons, Panthers, Lions, and Commanders during this exact sequence. Those are 4 distinct games where the home crowd can completely disrupt opposing snap counts and dictate the entire momentum. Can you picture how loud the stadium will get during that crucial Week 15 Sunday Night Football showdown against Detroit? The road burden is basically non-existent for almost 2 full months. However, the schedule makers did insert a highly controversial flaw right into the front half of the journey. For the 3rd consecutive season, Kevin O'Connell will have to manage a highly annoying Week 6 bye week. Splitting a season that early means the players must endure 12 consecutive weeks of physical football to end the year. O'Connell is exactly 2-2 coming out of bye weeks during his coaching tenure. And this year the immediate challenge is a home battle against Indianapolis. To survive this brutal stretch, Minnesota must rely heavily on their newly established depth across the offensive and defensive lines. The physical toll of 12 straight weeks without a break will test the training staff to its absolute limit. Management is already planning to rotate players more frequently during October to preserve energy for the massive home stretch. If the depth fails to hold up, those late-season home games won't even matter for the playoff race. Do you think a Week 6 bye week completely ruins the team momentum, or does the late home stretch compensate for it? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments right now. If you believe this schedule guarantees a ticket back to the playoffs, hit that like button immediately. But as crucial as the calendar is, an elite offensive weapon just landed a projection that is setting the entire football world on fire. The passing game is about to hit hyperdrive. An absolute bounce-back campaign is cooking in the Twin Cities, and national analysts are starting to realize that the offensive regression of last year was nothing but a temporary fluke. Who is ready to see the single most dominant wide receiver in professional football completely dismantle opposing secondary units once again? The identity everyone is talking about is Justin Jefferson, and the newest predictions from Bleacher Report analyst Gary Davenport indicate an absolute historic tear is on the horizon. Davenport explicitly predicts that Jefferson will completely lead the entire NFL in receiving touchdowns for the 2026 season. The forecast calls for a career-high 15 touchdown receptions, alongside a massive statistical volume that will flirt directly with Puka Nakua's single-season receiving yardage record. This is a massive leap forward from the frustrating statistical valley of last year. In the previous season, inconsistent quarterback play held Jefferson down to a modest 84 receptions for 1,048 yards and a mere 2 touchdowns. The Sam Darnold free agency departure threw a massive wrench into the machine when J.J. McCarthy suffered multiple injury setbacks and failed to prove his long-term franchise viability. That exact disaster forced the front office to execute a blockbuster signing for dual-threat weapon Kyler Murray. With Murray now firmly distributing the football, the tactical aerial attack is projected to look completely different. Jefferson will not be operating in an isolated vacuum either. The offense now boasts an elite wideout trio featuring Jordan Addison and the newly acquired Jawan Jennings to prevent defenses from bracket covering the superstar. On the ground, the running back stable is fully loaded with Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and the exciting rookie Demond Claiborne. Tight end TJ Hawkinson provides the ultimate safety valve across the middle of the field. This unique structural balance means cornerbacks can no longer afford to leave their safeties over the top of Jefferson without giving up massive chunks of yards to the supporting cast. Murray's ability to extend plays outside the pocket perfectly matches Jefferson's elite scramble drill awareness, creating a nightmare scenario for defensive coordinators. If the offensive line can provide just 3 seconds of consistent protection, this passing attack will break every single franchise record on the books. Do you think Justin Jefferson will actually secure 15 touchdowns with Kyler Murray throwing him the football this year? Type your statistical predictions in the comment section below. If you believe Jefferson is still the undisputed best receiver in the world, smash that like button right now. But while the offense adds explosive fireworks, the defensive side of the ball just witnessed a sudden execution that leaves the pass rushing depth completely depleted. The business side of professional football never stops moving. And the front office just proved that no roster spot is ever truly safe during a modern rebuild. Why would a defensive unit that thrived on absolute chaos and relentless pressure suddenly cut ties with an intriguing young talent before training camp even begins? The player caught in the roster shuffle is Notre Dame edge defender Jordan Botelho, who was officially waived according to an elite report from insider Aaron Wilson. Botelho entered the building as a highly discussed undrafted college free agent after spending 6 intense seasons with the Fighting Irish. He brought a solid physical frame at 6'3" and 260 pounds, alongside a collegiate resume boasting 97 total tackles and 12.5 sacks. Just a few days ago, Botelho expressed immense gratitude for the opportunity during an interview with KHON2, stating he was ready to leave everything on the field. Instead, he enters the waiver wire looking for a brand new home before getting a single preseason snap. This sudden roster subtraction thins out an outside linebacker group that has been completely reshaped this offseason. The defensive front already suffered massive losses when the front office traded away star rusher Jonathan Greenard to the Philadelphia Eagles. Additional depth vanished when veteran interior monsters Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen signed lucrative deals with the Green Bay Packers and Cincinnati Bengals. This leaves the edge rotation almost entirely dependent on 2024 Pro Bowler Andrew Van Ginkel and former first-round pick Dallas Turner. Turner completely led the team last season with 8 sacks, while Van Ginkel contributed 7 sacks despite battling through a short injury absence. Brian Flores ran the single highest blitz rate in the entire league last year, translating to the 3rd highest pressure rate and a tie for the 4th most sacks in football. Yet the front office completely avoided drafting a single edge rusher during the recent player selection process. They are putting immense faith in the development of young depth players like Bo Richter, Chaz Chambliss, and Tyler Batty to sustain the pressure numbers. This creates massive pressure on the remaining squad to perform immediately without any margin for error or slow development. Flores' schemes are notoriously complex, and removing a player this early indicates the coaching staff demands absolute perfection in playbook comprehension. If any of the starting edge defenders suffer an injury during the grueling 12-week stretch, the lack of proven depth could completely derail the aggressive scheme. Do you think waiving young talent like Botelho is a calculated mistake for the edge depth, or do you trust Brian Flores' defensive vision completely? Share your defensive analysis down below. 3 defining storylines have completely converged to alter the entire trajectory of this franchise as summer approaches. The advantageous winter calendar provides the ultimate path, the historic Justin Jefferson touchdown projection fuels the offensive fire, and the ruthless defensive roster trimming sets the tone for an intense training camp. This franchise is sending a crystal clear message to the rest of the competitive landscape. The rebuild is officially over, and the hunt for the North is underway. If the coaching staff properly navigates the early road tests, the home field advantage waiting in December will completely choke out the divisional rivals. Green Bay will have to travel to our house while dealing with their own transition adjustments, Detroit will face a hostile crowd under the bright lights, and Chicago is still trying to find stability. The path to the playoffs goes directly through the loud environment of US Bank Stadium. The mathematical reality is right there for everyone to see. The elite talent is locked into long-term contracts, and the blueprint is completely set. Now it is time for the fan base to step up and show their absolute dominance. Here is exactly what you need to do right now to support the movement. First, hit that like button if you truly believe this team is the most dangerous wildcard threat in the conference. Second, drop a comment with your exact win-loss prediction for these final 7 games of the season. Will we sweep the homestand or drop a crucial matchup? Third, subscribe to the channel immediately because every new follower drives our rivals absolutely insane, and we are tracking every single update all year long. But listen very closely to the immediate horizon, because a massive double cliffhanger is currently brewing behind the scenes. Rumors are circulating that the front office is not done spending money, and insiders suggest a massive veteran free agent contract offer is currently sitting on a desk waiting for an immediate signature within the next 48 hours. To make matters worse, our bitter rivals in Green Bay just cleared a massive amount of salary cap space to target the exact same defensive player. Which front office blinks first in this high-stakes game of financial chicken? Plus, a quiet whisper out of the facility suggests that a major leadership shift is happening inside the defensive locker room following the sudden roster cuts. That explosive update drops in our very next video. Stay locked in, stay loud, and Skol Nation, we will see you in the next battle.